Hail and well met, fellow Rangers. Hey, I am Ron Newcomb, and we just wanted to give you a quick update about the Rangers. You know what it's about. We got a campaign going on, guys. We got a little fight on our hands. We're halfway through, but we got a battle before us. So I wanted to bring on a few people and just kind of talk about Rangers and to give you a few announcements. I have gotten several audition reels and tapes and cosplay photos. They've been awesome. They've been coming in, really keeping me energized and encouraged. I love the chatter back and forth with people just saying, you know, they can't wait to see it and encouraging us. Hail and well met, fellow Rangers. Hey, I am Ron Newcomb, and we just wanted to give you a quick update about the Rangers. You know what it's about. So that's a interesting technical reverb there. Sorry about that. So what we wanted to talk to you tonight about is really just about the auditions, the acting. I've getting several emails even today about people saying, hey, do you guys still have roles open? And we certainly do. We have two roles that have been cast. And it's been Wolf Sherrill, who was the original Lieutenant Wolf, and then we also have Skip Lippman, who's also one of the producers, as Flint Tanner. So I met Dave, who is been a real advocate of the project. We met at Gen Con last year, and so I invited Dave onto the show tonight, primarily because you are a mini wargamer, Dave, and we have a mini wargaming reward that we're hoping people will appreciate and enjoy. So before we get into it too deep, Dave, why don't you just kind of tell people who you are, a little bit of your backstory, and what you get to do for a living, which is really cool.
Sure. Thanks again for having me on the show. And what I do is I have a YouTube channel. I make YouTube videos about miniature wargaming. And so if you've heard of Warhammer 40K, what I do is I play the game and I videotape myself playing the game and I post it on YouTube. And it's pretty much as simple as that. I make some short film type of videos as well. I like to just goof around and make those types of fun videos, but mostly it's battle reports for the game itself. And I've been doing that for 7 years. I have a business partner. We've been in the business of making the videos for 7 years, and we have a number of employees that make videos for us, as well as painting tutorials. And so
yeah, that's awesome. So you have painting going on that you tell people about. You've got strategy, kind of the different armies. I've seen several of your videos, and they're really cool because one of the things I love is whole world mythos and kind of history and things like that. And you get really into on some of the videos about kind of the historical aspects and what's at stake for this battle that's kind of partaking. So they're very entertaining, a lot of fun to watch, and a lot of people have really flocked to that information. One, because you know it's a epic story that allows people to tell out battles that they get to portray out on a battlefield. Why do you think fans are drawn to fantasy in particular?
I think it's because there's a lot of familiarity with it. There's so much more that exists out there that people can relate to. Say Lord of the Rings, and majority of people know exactly what that is. And so you say an orc or an elf or a dwarf, people in general know what those are. And so I think that's why people are drawn to the fantasy aspect, is because they have a reference. They're able to draw upon experiences or certain likes that they've had for lore in the past. That's just my thoughts. That's why.
No, I totally agree. You know, again, it's that, like you said, familiarity, and we're, you know, in fantasy, a lot of things that many of the great writers wrote about, you can see it playing out in our world. You know, in a very real, where the stakes are high type of environment. You know, all you need to do is look east, and you can see some challenges that are going on over in Russia and Afghanistan, Iraq, all those things that we've seen where conflict arises, and I think people like that good versus evil type of thing. But when you and I met, you were talking a lot about kind of your desire to potentially want to be one of the actors, wanted to be one of the Rangers, and I was just kind of encouraging you to give it a shot, and you've been really taking that to heart. So along with Skip and a few others, you guys have actually been training to equip yourselves to really kind of take on the full robe of what a Ranger is, and not just in kind of mental, but in dexterity and primarily through fitness, because we want these guys, we need these guys to be in some really good shape. They're the defenders of the realm. They're the peacekeepers. They're the local police force. They're all those things. They're the voice of the king. And so you guys have been really doing a great job and frankly quite inspiring. And you've done this before, right? You started out, was it a few years ago when you took on like a health regiment? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. I was your typical wargamer. I was you think of the stereotypical wargamer, kind of just like out of shape and whatever. That's exactly what it was. I was 233 pounds, and for a guy my build, you could really see it on my frame. I'm just kind of average build, right? So I decided I decided I was going to get in better shape, and I made myself publicly accountable. So to my viewership, I made a video, and I said to them, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to do it because it's something that I need to do, and you guys are going to help me through this. You're going to keep me accountable. And so I started out a couple years ago, and I've been exercising ever since. And for the Rangers in particular, the prospect of being part of the project was just really, really excited me, because it's one of my dreams is to act in movies and to pursue that, right? And so I've just committed myself to just take it a step further. And so I've been exercising 6 days a week. I've been doing weight training and also I've been doing Kabata training, and that's something that I learned recently. It's a Japanese thing. It's a high intensity interval training. So this is where you just go nuts for 20 seconds and then you rest for 10 and go nuts for 20. Like you just go 100% max, and you just after 4 minutes even your body is just killing you. And it's awesome. It is the most awesome thing. And I've been doing different things like working out my forearms, because I know that with drawing a bow and arrow you need that dexterity, and doing chin-ups and just different things that I'm used to, right? Just as opposed to your typical just weight training.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And one of the things that I loved in watching your videos is not only you taking it very serious, but it's also, I think the fans will appreciate what we're trying to do in thinking through different things, like the fact that these Rangers would need to understand the bow, the arrow, the blade, the shield, combat arms. In our world, Adrasil, where in the Kingdom of Aloran, these Rangers would have had to have served at least a year of service in the regular army and then kind of be called up or try out as a Ranger. And at first, it was a very elite and prestigious position, but as the kingdom has gotten older, the inner city Rangers are still very much, everybody wants to be a part of it, but the periphery Rangers, where they're needed most, they find themselves in need of more Rangers. And so Lieutenant Wolf, our main protagonist, and his crew find themselves in a little bit of that dilemma. And one of the things that I want us to do is to not tell a fantasy so much. I want that to be the genre. I want us to tell the history of Adrasil, that world, and the Kingdom of Aloran. And I want people to be able to sense this and feel this as a historical thing, an historical event. And any actor, because my first love is acting, can appreciate what we're trying to do. Any fantasy person, lover of fantasy, will appreciate that, because they love the deep layers one of the things that people praised Game of Thrones about is that very layered approach, very rich world, a vibrant world, and that's certainly what we're trying to do with the Rangers. So, you know, Dave, I've been following you now for a little bit, and sincerely, man, you've been inspiring, and I have to say, you know, I've seen your audition, and along with many others, your reading that you did, and, you know, one of the questions I know people get is, why don't you wait till April 10th, right, until the Kickstarter is done before you kind of fully flush things out? Well, one, we're hitting our goal, right? We're hitting our goal. And then two, we have to be ready once we hit our goal to move forward. I got to focus on other things. Not only do I have a 9-to-5, but we want to be focusing on pre-production, development, you know, going into many different things that we're going to need to go into. So I want to get our team together, our cohesive Rangers, to get them together. So a couple of weeks ago, we formally announced, and I asked Skip to be a part of the Rangers, and he had to put it on the line, and he knew that, and so he's now formally part of the team, and I would like to do the same thing tonight and offer you one of the prestigious inner roles of a really cool character that I'm excited about. I think you have a cool look, man. I appreciate you growing your hair out. I'm sure your wife is like, what are you doing? You got the, I mean, you're really taking it serious, and I think that's going to play out on screen. And I got to tell you, that did influence my decision, but I'd like to formally bring you on the team and offer you the role of Drustan, which is, like I said, one of Lieutenant Wolf's right-hand men. He's the primary scout. He is soft-spoken, but you know, quick. His dexterity is fast. He's always on the alert. I'm excited to actually, you know, as a writer and as a story creator, when Skip and I and Scott and the rest of the team, we're all kind of developing these characters, you develop them in one way, but then when you invite the actor in, they also bring that element into the role. And so now we have a face for our infamous Drustan. So I wanted to offer that to you, sir, and welcome you to the team of the Rangers.
Thank you. I have chills right now. This is crazy, man. This is,
yeah, it's going to be epic. Awesome. We're excited. I'm glad you're on the team, and I'm going to continue bringing people on the team until we're fully cast up. You know, I've reached out to some A-list talent, and it's kind of a little bit of the chicken or the egg first. You know, which one goes first? You know, talent needs, for you to have a full budget and a full schedule and all, they need to know if you're a feature, A-list talent. And then, but you can't get that money unless you have the A-list talent attached, right? So there's a little bit of dilemma that independent filmmakers make. Well, I happen to think that people that don't have that A-list cachet, that can also act and do a phenomenal job, can bring just as much clout to a role. And I think it's the subject matter that matters most, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to give people a kick-butt story with great characters, great hero, high stakes, a great bad guy that you're going to love. And there are several roles that we still haven't cast, and that's the truth. I'm hoping you guys will keep getting them in. You have until April 10th, but if I find the right one, I don't want to wait. Just like Dave, just like Skip, and certainly with Wolf, when I found them, I knew who they were. I wanted them in the team because I need to get my Rangers cohesive. So we're still looking for our fourth Ranger, as well as Soren, the primary, one of the major lead actors, who's kind of what we deemed as the rookie of the group. So now you're not in the States, right, Dave?
That's correct. I'm in Canada.
You're in the 51st state then, up north. So yeah, so you know, it's going to be a great time. I'd love to see if we can't get everybody down a little bit early. And I've got, you know, I was a Marine, right? So I've got a little Ranger boot camp in mind that I'm going to be putting you guys through the gauntlet.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, as Lieutenant Wolf kind of leads us to glory. And I'm going to be putting us through the ringer a little bit. And, of course, we're going to be giving that to you live via Kickstarter. That's an Kickstarter exclusive behind the scenes that you'll get, is these guys busting their butt doing Ranger stuff. all for you and to bring these characters to life. So I want to offer you guys some stuff as we go, through email about your character and maybe some books and stuff to read and things to try. But hey Dave, why don't you give people your website so if they want to check out some of these videos that you've done to train for this particular role, they can check it out. Why don't you give that out?
Sure. It's miniwargaming.com, and there's in the top right section there's a place for video logs, and so I put the vlogs there, the Ranger vlogs, the training. And now that I think that I'm going to be posting a lot more updates. I've been posting just a few so far, but I'm going to be posting a lot more now that I'm officially part of the team, which is crazy to think. I'm honored, by the way. That's amazing.
Yeah,
welcome to the crew.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome. You're one of us, and I kind of felt that early on, and I'm glad I can officially make the offer. But like me, I have a 4-week-old. You just had a little baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the midst of chaos, people, this is true independent filmmaking. This is real life. In the midst of everything else, we're trying to live out these lives, this calling, if you will, of independent filmmakers in the fantasy vein, and we're trying to do it together, and together I think we can have a big voice. Skip, why don't you give people out your URL as well? I know you were having a little bit of technical stuff, but I want to see if we can get that URL out to people.
Well, if you're talking about www.therangersfilm.com, that's where I want everybody to go right now.
That's true.
I mean, they can check out my quest to get in shape on my YouTube channel, which is just Skipman on YouTube, all one word, alter. And they can follow my journey through just trying to achieve the part and get in shape. I'm really interested in finding out about the Dave's Kabata, because one of the things that I find is like, all right, so I'm lifting weights and I'm exercising, or I'm riding the bike, or I'm doing my hikes or whatever, but I don't know, maybe I've got like ADHD or whatever, but I get bored so easily. It's something new and like something that I would love for him to share with me. I'd like to find out something about that because it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can even kind of discuss that online, and we would be remiss if we wouldn't just give a shout out to all you guys, all the fans out there. And the mobilization we've already seen, but certainly, like I said at the beginning, we have a fight ahead of us. We have reached over halfway, which is phenomenal, but we have a ways to go, and we know that this is a big community, a vibrant community, and we're looking forward to just banding together so that we can all bring a project like this to life. If we get funded, then it isn't like the three of us get to go off and make a movie. That's not what it is. I get to hire writers, I get to hire actors, I get to hire crew members, I get to hire musicians, I get to hire all of these other things goes on that can happen around this epic journey, and then we invite people to be a part of the project in many different...
Ron, I think you've also got to point out that it's above and beyond that, above and beyond creating the film and hiring everybody, all the the craftsmen and the actors and all the people who are going to create this film, is that we're going to create a whole universe around the Rangers. And I think that's one of the other things that's really exciting about having David on the project, is that you can see his passion in the work that he's done at miniwargaming.com, and the level and the depth of just his expertise in the Warhammer world that he's brought to bear there. And if he can bring that to the Rangers, or even just a little part of that, it's gonna really enhance those other facets of the project where people can become a part of the Rangers world.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the coolest parts of the whole concept is that, yeah, we're building this cool fantasy film and we've got this story to tell, but it goes so much further than that, and including everyone else in our vision.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's a story that people can latch onto, and there are ways for you to latch onto it, be it in a card game, the miniatures, the graphic novel, the novelization, the comic, the potential video game. I mean, we can build this thing and bring this thing as far as we all can together. And so, you know, we've got 9 days to go. We do got to step it up, step our pace up a little bit. But I wanted to bring you guys in on officially. I just asked Dave to join us tonight, and was thinking we were going to be talking about the mini, but I wanted to spring it on him because I want you guys to get excited that you could start to see our Rangers coming to life and see who they are, see the people that are going to be playing them, and really start to really see what this world of the Rangers is going to be like. You know what it's going to be like? It's going to be epic. That's what it's going to be like. All right, guys, we'll catch you again. And Skip and I are going to be giving a lot of live updates from here on out for the remainder. Most nights at 9 o'clock, you'll be able to check us out here. So until then, we will catch you next time.